Hello, everyone. Welcome back to E20 Zone TV. And this is a preview for the Watford versus West Ham game, which is tomorrow at 3 p.m. UK time, in a game that we must win. There's no two ways about it. We have to win this game, but it's going to be tough. It is. No Declan Rice. We're massively out of form, not performing at present. We've got players who people are saying that are performing when they're clearly not. There's massive problems at West Ham. We keep saying we're massive, but we've got massive issues at present. Defensively, attacking, all over the gaff. And this game where we go to Watford, Vicarage Road, and we don't ever really perform there. So this is a big, big game tomorrow. It really, really is. Obviously, I'm going to do the betting side of it in a little while, but I'll quickly go through the game. Obviously, no Declan Rice tomorrow, which is a major blow to us. He got booked against Southampton, and for me personally, that's the driving force of our midfield gone. We need to go to at Watford and just blast them out the ground. Literally, what Jazza has just said here. Not confident we need to outscore them, which is exactly what I'm feeling and all, mate. And that's why I feel gold in this game all day long. We need to go there and impose ourselves. There is good news, which whether or not you like Ben Rama or not, but he's still going to be here till January the 3rd. So he's here for the Palace game. He's here for the Watford game, which is a massive boost because we need players at this club. We can't allow players just to go to African Cup of Nations because we're running out of bodies at the minute. For me, tomorrow, we need to impose ourselves. We need to go to Watford. They haven't played in about 2 weeks now. They've had multiple games where they haven't played due to COVID. They've had one training session, as Ranieri says, and we've got to go there and we've got to put it on them. And we've got to just impose ourselves and not start slow, start on the front foot. I'm hoping that the boys will turn up tomorrow. I really do. I hope they're going to go out, all guns blazing, and go, right, we need a win, right? And just put it on them. Put it on Watford from the get-go. Do you know what I mean? We can't have this sort of mediocre attitude. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, there was a big issue with on social media yesterday in regards of like Vlasic, and people were saying Vlasic had a good game, had a bad game. I thought Vlasic was okay, but I'm sorry, but anyone who thinks he was a masterclass in the first half needs to have a look at the first half performance. We were shockingly shit. And if you're telling me he's the best out of a shockingly shit lot, then we've got more issues than we anticipate. Do you know what I mean? Vlasic needs to perform. There's no two ways about it, right? And I'm not going to get into the whole Vlasic yes or no. Yeah, he's been here nearly 5-6 months now, right? How much more time do we need to give this geezer before we start saying, you know what, he just ain't doing it at present? But not just him. There is other players. Pablo Fornells was poor against Southampton. Very, very poor in the first half, and he got subbed at half time. Need him to be back, mate. I really do. I need this man to be back on form with this. And he's ever since he's had a kid, and people say about, oh well, like, and I've had many discussions with Daya, and people saying, well, he's had a kid, James. Well, what does that matter? You don't know what's going on in his private life. You don't know whether that kid is not too well, or his missus is not too well, or it's affecting his game. But he was poor against Southampton. It really, really was. But furthermore, when I look at it, they was all poor in the first half. Even Benny was quiet. Second half, he livened up. And I believe tomorrow he's going to start. He's going to perform tomorrow, Ben Rama. I believe he's starting to get back to how he used to be. Do you know what I mean? People was calling for this man to be at the team and all that. You bring Lanzini and plays one good game, and the rest of his games are poor. But Lanzini made a difference yesterday. He come on. He started off well. 20 minutes into the game, he was looking lively in the second half. And towards the end of the half, especially the second half, he was just drifting all over the gaff. Do you know what I mean? So it is a major problem. But we'll have a look. Let's have a look. All of us going to need to be the 12th man to get behind this team once the 11 is picked. I agree. Little question for everyone in the chat quickly. Crow or Noble? Now, for me, it's got to be Crow. It has to be Crow. Crow and Suchek play together at Czech Republic level in national. It has to be Crow. It can't be Mark Noble. If it is Noble, it's not a problem, but it proves to me that Crow is just not. Moyes just don't fancy Crow, if I'm honest. Epic Ash time. I suspect Moyes will bottle this. I hope not, mate. I really do, because If he bottles this one, then when is he going to start performing? Now Declan is out, it's time for someone else to step up and show that they can take the game by the scruff of the neck. I agree, totally, Jazza. I really do. You have Noble, Crowell, Lanzini to replace Rice, maybe even Johnson, Fredericks, or Ashby to go as a back five. Honestly, if we go to a back five against Watford, then we've got serious problems. I want to see a 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 system. I want us to be attacking, attack-minded, absolutely go at Watford from the get-go, right? I've noticed in the last sort of 2 games that I've watched, against Arsenal, we was lacklustre, right? We just allowed them to play around. The Tottenham game, we can't really say about because it was mix and match. It was basically, it was what it was. Even then, second half, we had all the ball, but we just couldn't penetrate through them. The Southampton game killed me, though, if I'm honest. And listen, people have their own opinions on Vlasic and all that, but if we're relying on this geezer, he's got to start delivering. Do you know what I mean? There's no 2 ways about it. Jones says Crowell all day. Scott, Ben Rama's available, people, which is good. I don't care what anyone says. Ben Rama will deliver because he has delivered this season. He scored 7 goals in all competitions this season. Like, he needs to start getting a little bit of respect, and because he don't do something right, everyone's on his case. Crowell needs to be in a run of games for Crowell to see if his long-term plans for the side squad. I agree, John. Really do, mate. He has to be Crowell. There's no 2 ways about it. Crowell and Suchet have played together at international level. Mark Noble can't get around the pitch anymore in the Prem. He can do an half, maybe 20 minutes, 25 minutes, but he can't do a whole 90. And to me, if Crowell does not play tomorrow, and he tries to get round it in a way that he doesn't have to play Crowell, to me, that says one thing. He just does not like Crowell at all. It really does. I'd replace Rice with Lanzini. Rice and Suchet have been too deep. I think Arsenal need fluency in the middle. Moyes won't do this, though. I agree. He probably won't, mate. Problem is with Lanzini, is he too lightweight? That is the question that needs to be asked. Is he too lightweight in midfield? I think what it is, people got a bit giddy last year when he went to Burnley. He played very well against Burnley, but it was 1 game. It was just, to me, Lanzini is a 20 minutes man, number 10 role, and he might open up a door or 2 for you. Do you know what I mean? Listen, I'm not knocking Lanzini. Lanzini's been a great servant to West Ham. He's been here a long time. And he has been a very, very good player for West Ham United in that time. And he's been very loyal to West Ham when he could have left and gone on to bigger and better things. But there comes a time when we've got to stop relying on this geezer. Like 6 months ago, people said we're going to sell Yarmolenko, Anderson, and Lanzini. Now, Pete, in the January window, he's being linked with Leeds and Newcastle and all that. I don't want to see this man go. I really don't. There's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues in regards to the squad. We've got a left back that can't defend him, Arthur Mazawaku. If Moyes plays Arthur Mazawaku tomorrow, I see his name on the team sheet, I will go mad. I will, because this man cannot defend. If he's up against Dennis tomorrow, or any of their tricky wingers, Watford, we're going to be massively in trouble. There's no 2 ways about that whatsoever. We can't allow them to come at us, right? We've got to defend properly, and we can't defend while he is our left back. And anyone who feels that he's decent in that position, I'm sorry, but I don't know what you're seeing. Right? I really don't. Go back into the comments. What we got here? We got Jones says this. Your rating show yesterday, oh my God, was a brilliant show. You 3 were amazing. Hilarious banter. Jake and Daya need to be invited back. Yeah, it was good, mate. It was hard to deal as a host. When you got Daya, who's very passionate, and Jake's very passionate, and you got 2 different ages. You got me bang slap in the middle of them. It was like me being a ref at a local prize fighter event. But I agree with partly what Jake and Daya were saying. But I can understand Jake's point of view with Vlasic, and I can understand Daya's. Jake's looking at it, well, we've got to stop knocking him and start praising him, which I understand that. He wears a Clerkenham blue shirt, right? You've got to back him up. But then I understand Daya's attitude of, we pay a lot of money for this man. Why is he not doing anything to justify even starting? Do you know what I mean? And it all depends what side of the fence you sit on at the end of the day. You either sit on the fence of, we've paid a lot of money for this man, he needs to come in and perform because we need him now, or do you sit on the fence and say, well, we've bought him, he's a prospect. Now, whatever side you sit on, Vlasic has got to do something soon, like, because when do you draw that line? Like, when do you look at that line and go, you know what, it starts becoming an issue? Because to me, I feel, in regards to Vlasic, I feel that he hasn't done anything to warrant a start at West Ham yet. I think he's getting into positions and he's starting games because other players ain't fit or whatnot. He hasn't deserved to start. He hasn't done a masterclass performance to say, you know, wow, this player needs to be starting games. And the same thing goes for Lanzini. Lanzini had one good game against, I can't remember who it was, Man City, I think it was, scored a banger, scored against Chelsea. Everyone says, oh, Lanzini this, Ben Rama's this, and this. Then Lanzini goes off the boil. Like, there's rotation, but you've also got to look at it, the fact that Vlasic cost a lot of money. And I've had many discussions with many West Ham fans. And listen, I don't always agree with everyone. Yeah, as everyone knows, I'm very opinionated in what I say. But everyone can agree that if you had a choice between Lingard or Vlasic at present, you'd go for Lingard. It's just common sense. So we will see on that. But yeah, it was a great show, John. It really was. Midfield three of Souček, Lanzini and Fornell. Souček's playing the deep role, allowing his attacking players to do the business. It won't happen, though. Souček's got to perform tomorrow. That's another thing. I will say that. Souček's been hit and miss for a little while, and even the other day, he's got to sort his passing out. Now, I had many discussions with Charlie Walsh on this, right? I really did, and me and Charlie had massive debates on this. Right? I said that Souček could be a world-class player. Charlie said, not a chance. He can't pass. He's one-dimensional, and Charlie Walsh is starting to be proved right in what he's saying. And I've got to admit that Charlie is right there, because Souček, what I've noticed with teams is they're doubling up on Souček. They know they can't get near Rice, because Rice can just pick the ball up, drift past, cut their players, set up an attack. Souček can't do that. And yeah, Charlie was right on that, and he's got to perform tomorrow. He's one player who has to turn up tomorrow, because if he don't turn up, then our midfield is massively wide open, and I fear I don't want to say an hammering, but I fear that if we don't sort ourselves out tomorrow, we could get obliterated like Man United did up there. Do you know what I mean? We will see. I would have Noble as a first change in the second half formation. Has to be a 3-4-3 or 3-4-2-1. Don't be defensive against Watford. We have the goals in our side. It's time to say, go out there and attack. I agree. It's all hands on deck tomorrow, if I'm honest. I feel that we have to go out from the get-go. None of this punching about formations. Get the ball down, get it wide, and get our players into the box in attacking positions. Right? There's no two ways about it. Epic hash time. The starting 11 is probably the same, except no ball instead of Rice, which is true. If Arthur Mazawaku plays and Ben Johnson is sitting on the bench, right, then I'm sorry, but Moyes is going to get it tomorrow, because this man cannot defend. And if he's up against that Dennis, or is it Pedro, I think they got, another one of their tricky wings is a quality player. And if he's up against them, he's going to get obliterated, Mazawaku. So that's got to change. It really has. Do you go to a three at the back? Could do, but then you still got the problem of the left-hand side. Who's your left-hand side defender going to be? So there is a major problem there. For me personally, though, I feel that he has to go with Ben Johnson. I don't understand why Ben Johnson is sitting on the bench. I really don't. I think he was playing very, very well. He got an injury against Chelsea. Obviously, Cafal's come in. Ain't done amazing, Cafal, but even put Ben on the left. I know it ain't the right call. I know he ain't a left-sided player, right? And when he has played left back, but he's got to be a better choice than Arthur Mazawaku, surely. Because when you look at Mazawaku, and I just want to say this, yeah, if you're watching the game tomorrow, Arthur Mazawaku will carry the ball forward and always check his run. The only time he ever crosses the ball is when the ball is in front of him and he'll cross it first time. right? He tries to do a little bit of trickery. He gets to the byline. He has to check back. Like, to me, Ben's the man, if I'm honest, on that left-hand side for this game. I think he can do a covering job. He's done it well enough. I think if you've got to toss a coin between the pair of them, I know which side I would be on. Do you know what I mean? Who have we got? He says, "Hi, how you doing? I'm well, mate. I'm really good." Jezza, I missed those Vlasic show, but I thought he was the best of a bad bunch against Southampton. In the first half, shocking man management taking him off. Crescent would have shot his confidence. I agree, and I do agree with that. I don't think Vlasic should have gone off, but I don't think he was a masterclass. Like, do you know what I mean? When I see people saying he was our best player, he was this, he was that, I don't know what they were saying. He was okay, but he should be okay for £27.5 million. Do you know what I mean? But the difference is when people say, did Moyes get it right or did Moyes get it wrong? In one way, Moyes got it right because he took him off. Second half, we come out, we scored within 5 minutes. And we've done more in that 5 minutes than we did do in the whole of the first 45 minutes. Now, that's not a blame on Vlasic, but he's part of it. And Fornells, pair of them were just as bad as one another. And obviously, they must have assessed it at half time and said, these two are just not cutting it at the minute. What I have noticed in regards to Vlasic is basically, I don't think he is suitable to go with certain players who are like him, so to speak. I think he needs pace around him. When you've got Fornells and him together, you've got two like-minded players, two of the same ability, two who don't score many goals. So then you've got to look at it like that. Are we playing too many players similar? And someone put it on Twitter earlier, funny enough. They said, we need some wingers at this club. We've got one natural winger in Jared Bowen. And I'm making an absolute bang on the money. You've got no players who can get the ball down, bang, get past someone, get it right, and start diving into the box. Ben Rama can do it to a point, but I've always said Ben Rama's a 10. He's not a left-sided winger, really. He's not a target man or a forward. He's a number 10, like free role type player. Really, if anything, he's a luxury player. But doesn't take away the fact that we do need someone who, like, we need pace up front. That's one thing we haven't got. Like, you take Jared Bowen out of it, yeah, but Antonio's fast. But Antonio is what he is. Like, he runs into brick walls, he runs into down side streets and side alleys and things like that, because that's what he does. Do you know what I mean? But we need some pace. Nicola Vash has done good. Why did he get subbed off? Good, I agree. But did Moyes get it right? That's the question that needs to be asked. Because in one way, if you'd have said that 50th minute yesterday, right, we've got back into the game, it was instant reaction. Lanzini and Antonio. It's a completely different team. My theory is Moyes was saving Johnson for Watford. Masuaku has been dropped. Lanzini to be played with Krau and Souček, so Souček can go forward. Honestly, now if we don't see Krau tomorrow, and he does go with would he go with Lanzini? I don't think he does. Right, Watford ain't got a bad midfield in there. They're going to have ball winners in there, so we need someone like Krau who's going to be dogged and get around. Krau will do the running, and I just don't understand for the life of me why Krau basically isn't picked. I don't understand what he's done wrong. He's had COVID. He's had long COVID. I understand that, but he's surely got to be fit now, right? And to me, and I have this argument all the time on different platforms. I've had this debate with many people. Why did we loan Connor Coventry out to Peterborough when we could have given Connor Coventry games in League Cup to progress him to a top level? When Alex Krau was signed and he has literally had, 3 or 4 games at best? It's just not good, is it? Let's be honest. Question: was Vlasic a Moyes signing? I hate to say, I'm not sure he was a Moyes signing. I don't believe he was, John. I really don't. I believe it was a panic buy, and I am adamant on that. And people say, "Nah, Moyes." Listen, when you're trying to get Jesse Lingard and Man United playing hardball for a lot of money, you have to go and get someone. We was linked with Pereira all summer, ex West Bromwich Albion player who plays in Saudi Arabia now, or Dubai, wherever he plays. And we was trying to get this geezer in, and we couldn't get him in. And then all of a sudden, and at the final hour, we end up getting linked to Vlasic in CSKA. Now, to me, and I don't care what any platform says, any West Ham YouTube channel or anything, no one knew about Vassage before it come out in the news. No one knew that we was being linked to this geezer, because this geezer just come completely out of nowhere. And to me, that wasn't planned. Like he doesn't play anywhere near to a standard that you'd expect from a Premier League footballer. And people say you've got to give him time. I understand you've got to give him time, but we need him now. Like, we don't need him in 3 years' time. We need him right now. If we're going to challenge for European honours, right? And fair enough, if everyone says, well, fuck the leave off and go, you know what? Well, if we finish 10th, but we're still going to need him in the Europa League and we're still going to need him in the FA Cup. Right? So we need him to perform. And I hope that time is coming soon, because the longer this goes on, the more I feel it just isn't a Moyes signing. I do believe that in a Moyes signing. Right, something Dyer says, and I make him right. And Dyer's controversial, right? But one thing with that man, he's not a bullshitter. Right, he won't bullshit you. He'll tell you straight. Right, whereas a lot of people will talk bollocks to get hits and views. I don't think Dyer does that. Dyer's a realist, and he talks real, and he talks from experience. David Moyes had contacts at Everton for a long, long time. Right, he knew people at Everton. He had Duncan Ferguson's up there. And something Dyer says, and I do believe him every time Dyer says it, right? No one could tell me that he didn't ring up Everton or some of the scouts up there and say, how was Vassage when he was at Everton? And I do believe that. I believe he must have rung them up and said something, because you wouldn't just go and sign someone. He didn't perform at Everton, and he had really, really bad experiences at Everton. He played 12 games, and he said that he was moved from left to right. He never played his central role. Now, he's played his central role a few times for West Ham, and he hasn't really done anything, really, so to speak. But I don't know, John. If I'm honest, the answer to that, I believe he ain't. But let's be honest, when Jesse Lingard was signed from David Moyes, we all knew it was a David Moyes signing. He played every game. We're not seeing that with Vassage, I'm afraid. Benrahma shouldn't have been taken off with 10 minutes to go. Not only is he one of our best attacking players, but he scored a goal. Would have fancied another. Should have taken off a defender. Yeah, I agree, mate. I really do. When I look at that, I thought it was an insult to bring on. I thought it was an insult to bring on Yarmolenko, if I'm being honest. Scott B, come on, you irons. Keep the faith, mate. That's what I say. There was one point yesterday where Souček took about 5 touches, just turning around on the spot. Looks like I can't get robot was so robust. Yeah. It's not. Listen, I'm not going to knock Souček, because what he done last year was phenomenally good, but he is not the same player. My argument when I have debates with Dyer and things like that, and different YouTubers and platforms and all that, is last season Declan Rice was sitting as a holding defensive midfielder, never going forward. He would control that between defence and attack comfortably, Declan. Right? This season, Declan wants to go forward. He wants to do them big runs. Don't get me wrong, he's world class, and he can do them runs. He's a very, very, very good player, Declan. But Thomas Souček can't do what Declan Rice can do as a DM. He really can't, and I've always said that from minute one. And when teams I think teams have figured that out now. They go, right, make sure you press Souček, because he's not good with the ball at his feet. He gets a bit like all over the place, flustered is the word I'm looking for. And with Declan, I think they know when Declan's got the ball, he can spray it left, right. He reminds me of Paul Scholes a bit, Declan, the way he gets the ball, controls the play. And anyone who remembers Paul Scholes realise how well he was. Do you know what I mean? Hi, James. Love your show. We need to beat Watford tomorrow. Up the Hammers. Yeah, I know, Lee. Thank you very much, mate. What about it? Crowell? Start Fredericks instead of Masuaku? Possibly. But we need money for a long-term goalkeeper in the summer. New left-back, new striker, new central midfielder to compete with Souček and Moyes. Yeah, but the problem is, though, Jazza, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but why wasn't this addressed? We've always known we've needed a left-back for the last 2 years. 2 years this has been going on with a left-back, and we still have not got a left-back at this club. And the problem is, it's not a dig, but when you're going out and you're spending a lot of money on players who we don't really need, like, let's be honest, Alex Crowell has done not a lot this year, right? We could have got round it and not had him here and gone and loaned a striker from somewhere or a left back, which could have benefited us. Like, I don't understand the Crowell signing. The Areola signing baffles me because I keep hearing through people I know, basically, that Sam Johnson from West Brom is being heavily linked with a summer move. Right? It all depends if West Brom, go up. Yeah, but he's being touted big time. To me, it's something to do with the wages with Areola. Like, Areola wants a lot of wages, but Areola will be France's #1 goalkeeper. Once Hugo Lloris retires, it'll be Areola. Now, I don't understand why West Ham just don't sign this Areola. Like, but there's something to do with the wages, and there's something to do with he wants silly money, Areola. But if we're going to be a big club, we've got to act like a big club. And Sam Johnson just doesn't cut it for me. Really don't. Who was the first choice next to Bonner last season before Dawson come into the team? Balbuena in there last year. At certain points, you had who was the other one? Balbuena. Diop come in, but it was more Balbuena, really. Balbuena, Diop. There was no Zuma. What was the other one? Jazzy, you've done me there, mate. But what West Ham done last year, they played as a free at the back in a lot of games. So Cresswell would go as the left-sided player, and then we'd have like wing backs. And that's where Ben Johnson come in on the left-hand side, because what it was, Ben was playing left a lot last season. Enjoy. Everyone's watching go show Jason will like the video and subscribe to the channel. You won't regret it. No ball. Listen, mate, I'm not trying to be anything I ain't, but one thing I don't do is talk bollocks. I'm sorry, I can't, because it's not in my nature. I'm an old school East Ender. I've been brought up from an East End family, and one thing is we talk fact, not fiction. And to me, I really do appreciate that. And if anyone who does want to subscribe and like the video, I really would appreciate it. But when it comes to West Ham, I don't want to see the old West Ham rear its ugly head. And yesterday proved it to me that is still there. West Ham only started performing when they went 1-0 down. They get back level, go and concede a stupid goal. Another one, stupid goal. Just the same old cliche again. Scott B, I would hate to see Lanzini go. I would, mate, if I'm being truthfully honest. Because he's been great for us, and we are relying on him. Like, we're relying on a player that, I'll be honest, in the summer, people wanted him sold and said, like, we need to bring in some fresh blood, fresh people. And the three names mentioned were Yarmolenko still here, Anderson, who's gone, and Lanzini. And why Yarmolenko is still here, I'm sorry, but that man, if that's daylight robbery at its finest. It really is. It really, really is. Giving Vlasic time won't improve him. He's had a lot of time, and we know by now he will be a great prospect. He's not going to succeed in the Premier League. Listen, I know what's going to happen, Joe, right? And I respect your opinion 100%, yeah? But as soon as he scores, people will come at me and Daya 100%. Oh, look, see, he told you. He's been here for a long time now. He's played against mediocre teams in the Europa League. He played against Rapid Vienna twice. No, tell you, I think he played once against Rapid Vienna because the other time he was concussed. But he's played against Genk. He's played against Zagreb, and he hasn't really done it. Even against them teams, that's more of a worry to me. Because fair enough, the Prem, but he has been here in the Premier League. But people keep forgetting he had 12 games in the Premier League. Like, that's 1/3 of the season. Like, do you know what I mean? He's coming on, and to me, who would you rather have, Lingard or him? I still say it. I'd rather have Lingard. We even need a central defensive midfielder who can sit and play alongside Rice or Souček, and the alternative runs, or we'll go to a back five and allow both of the forward. So we do need. This is what I personally feel, right? And I've spoke to Daya. I spoke to other people. I feel we need a proper defensive midfielder like a Basuma, someone of that ilk who could just sit there and roam. Yeah, like Declan can. Yeah, people say, "Oh, you can't afford Basuma," but if someone said to me, "Go and get Basuma, put him next to Rice. Rice will go forward. Basuma will control that. He's like a workhorse. Like, because Souček's not a really good tackler. That's one thing I will say. He's not a very good tackler. He's good at a lot of other things, like good aerially and arriving late, but even then, even that's sort of stopped. But we will see. Souček was a good buy, but let's be honest, we were lucky with Kafal considering how much he was. I agree, 100%, Jezza. Gary, evening. If we don't qualify for the Champions League, do you think we will lose Rice and Bowen? I fear it, mate. If you want me to be real, Gary, and I will be honest, I do fear it. I think that's coming. I think it all depends on this January window. And if we go and basically spend peanuts, and I've heard this all before, right, about people saying January window you can't do business. Virgil van Dijk was bought at Liverpool on the January the 1st, yeah, about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, whenever it was, right? You can do business. Like, if you spend the money, players will come. And it all depends on the spend in January. I called this last year when we were sitting, wherever we were sitting in the league. And I turned around and I said that we need to spend some money urgently if we're going to maintain this sort of thing. But if we don't get any European football this year, which, let's be honest, next year, Newcastle, if they stay up Newcastle, right, they will go strong next year. They will go out, they will buy all the sort of players who's not cutting it at certain clubs, like your Martials, your Allies and all that. It might not work next year, but we're going to be up against another powerhouse team. So we've got to spend some money in January. And Declan Rice, that's the one. Bowen, I'll be gutted if he goes, but if Declan Rice goes, that's the art and soul gone. That's the art and soul. That's your captain, your leader, your engine. Like, I feel that Bowen, you could replace Bowen. There is players out there you could replace. You know, I do love Bowen. He's one of my favourite players at West Ham. But Declan Rice is unreplaceable. There's not no one who can do what Declan Rice can do. And that is the fear, if I'm being trivial. So the answer to your question is, mate, it's all about January for me. If Moyes does not buy or loan at least 4 players in the January window, and that goes as a left back, a centre half, a striker, and another wide man, yeah, so to speak, then I'm sorry, but it'll be good night from Rice next year, because I reckon the team will come in for him next summer. I reckon what it is, you've got to look at it with Rice. And I know I'm going on a bit of a thing, but because I'm very passionate, I do like Declan Rice is the reason why I believe West Ham are where we are. When I look at Declan, I see a player that can go and play anywhere in the Premier League, anytime, and do anything, right? But the question is, can West Ham hold on to him and give him what he desires? At present, I just don't see it. I just see West Ham being the same old West Ham. Everyone go. I see this all the time on social media. It drives me mental. People go, "Oh yeah, don't matter. We're 6, or at least we're not fighting relegation." Don't they realise that Declan Rice doesn't want to be fighting relegation? Declan Rice doesn't want to be going for Europa League. He wants Champions League football, and we need to make sure that we get it. So, yeah. What we got here? Some of the. I'm beginning to see Vlasic as a homeless version of an Arnautovic. I see some similarities. However, we need someone like Lingard, like Pereira, to fit his space. Yet we went for a different player. I agree. I like Pereira myself. When we made the half-time subs, he might have been thinking of tomorrow's game because it's only one day between. I don't know, Scott, on that, because let's be honest. When we come out second half against Southampton, we looked completely different. Like, would anyone disagree with that? Like, I thought we looked a lot better. We was more attacking. It was like the shackles had come off, and we had just letting loose, basically. So I don't know. Would you say that Vlasic starts tomorrow and Fornells? I think one of them do. I think he'll go with Fornells, if I'm honest. I'll be surprised if Vassy starts. I think Ben Rama will start both games because Moyes is going to use him to his advantage before he goes to African Cup of Nations, which to me, I waste of time that is. We have to win against Watford. We are sliding down, and we need to beat the lesser teams. I agree. Ian says Newcastle winning 1-0. So that's good news for us when regards to Man United, but, you know, we need to start performing ourselves. Jazza, off to dinner. Habit tonight. Not looking forward to the game tomorrow. The away end could be a very hostile place if we don't put a shift in. Yeah. They've got to do something tomorrow. Of course, Newcastle is winning. Is a bigger fraud than Tufty. Yeah. Bye, Jazza. I reckon we will win tomorrow. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to get on to the betting side of it. So if this is not your cup of tea, then I will sort of let you know right now. So we're coming up to the 37th minute. But I'm going to start off with my bets that I think tomorrow. All right. Now, I'm going to start off with this. Watford are 9-4. The draw's 5-2. And West Ham are 23-20 to win this game. For me, are West Ham value at 23-20? And the answer to that is no. With no Declan Rice, that's no fault from midfield. I like the draw in this game. I want us to win tomorrow. Don't get me wrong. I'm praying that we win. And if we win, you will get a nice big reaction on E20's own TV from me. But can I realistically see it hand on my heart or using my head? My heart wants us to win. My head is telling me the draw. It really is. I think Watford are going to be up for this. They haven't played for God knows when. They're going to have plenty of time, plenty of rest, and they're going to be chopping at the bit to get out there and play against us, really, knowing that we're not performing. And with no Declan Rice in there, we've got no anchors in midfield other than Souček. And let's be honest, he's not a good DM. So that is the bets for them. Me personally, I hope West Ham win tomorrow. I really do. Will I back them at 23-20? No, not for me. It's too short for me. I'll back the draw, and if West Ham win, then great. If West Ham draw, then great. If West Ham lose, then yeah, same old scenario. Go back to the comments quickly. What we got here? Scotty B says, would you see Rice try an attacking midfielder with Souček and Crowell behind? Yeah, I keep hearing that, Scott. And Daya from Dave's Banter says the exact same thing. And I'd like to see it myself. I really would. Gary, I live in the corner from the training centre. Saw Martial and Lingard come out of the training ground. Don't know their number plates today. Not sure if they're playing tonight. Well, I'd have both of them at West Ham right now. I really would. Anyway, moving on to this. And this is my bets for tomorrow. Craig Dawson is 20-1 to score first, 7-1 at any time. And then you've got Ben Rama and Bowen, 17-2, first goal scorer, 16-5, anytime goal scorer. I'll start off with Dawson. Dawson is playing against his ex-team, the team that let him go, so he wasn't good enough and basically shipped him out. And when they got relegated, he got a lot of criticism from Watford fans saying, why have we signed this player? Absolute awful, no good. A lot of other expletives were said about Craig Dawson from Watford fans. And nothing would surprise me in the slightest if Dawson turns up tomorrow and buries an header from a corner. It would not surprise me at all. So for me, I've gone for that. And I'm looking at that as a good sort of price. What else I got here? I've got Jared Bowen and Ben Rama at 17-2, 16-5. I like. I don't know. I just feel Benny's going to score tomorrow night. I really do. Not me being Ben Rama like fanboy or nothing. Right. I fancy him to score tomorrow. I think he's starting to click. Right. And I think Bowen can do the same similar job tomorrow and score and all. So I'm hoping that they come out all guns blazing. I think Bowen's the better one out of the two. 100% as a player this season. But I don't know. I just feel Ben Rama is trying to do a lot. He wants to push us forward, basically. Tottenham, he come off the bench, and I was quite surprised at where he played. He tried his hardest to get a goal. The other day, he scored a good goal, Bowen with the assist. I think them two work well together. I think we've just got a couple of missing pieces, and then we're flying. Let's go back into the comments before I move on. No, they're not. What's that, Ian? No, they're not. Anyway, moving on. This is a good bet. This is on Sky Bet if you fancy a little punt. Bowen had 2 shots at 11-4. I like this bet. I've started to clock on to the little the shots in games betting, and I feel that Bowen is a sort of player at present who he likes to have a shot from anywhere and everywhere, basically. If we're going to do something tomorrow, he's going to have to be on it, and I believe that these 2 shots at 11-4 are pretty decent value. I feel he can get in behind their defence. I believe that he could go as a striker if it ain't going right, and he pushing further on with Antonio. I like that bet 11-4. I really do. Going back to the comment, what we got? Jones, Souček to score. I reckon he could get a header. What price? He's actually 11-1, John, to score a goal. To score first goal tomorrow. He's 11-1. I think he is. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's either 3 or 4-1 to score any time. So if you fancy that, it's always a good punt on the Souček. He needs a goal, doesn't he? Let's be honest. Anyway, moving on. I couldn't make out which one it was. It was nice to see the business being done early. What one was it? Let's have a look. Next bet. Over 2.5 goals at 4-5 is pretty simple one, really. We are conceding goals, and Watford like to score goals. I believe we can score goals against them. I believe it's both teams to score all day long. So if it ends up 1-1, then you're cursed. But I do fancy this bet at 4-5. This is another little bet I've got here. And finally, this is the final one. 4 corners each team, 1 booking each team, 6-4. Then that is my final bet, and that is my bet tomorrow that I will be doing. West Ham love a corner, and we are set piece kings at the minute. And Watford will go down the wings and try and cross balls in. And I think with our defenders the way they are, they're not playing very well. And I think corners will be order of the day. It all depends on the booking and the ref. If the referee is on it tomorrow, then this bet might be quite decent. So yeah, I do like that 6-4. That is my goal bet of the game. It really is. I believe there'll be corners. I believe this will be an attacking, free-flowing game, and I believe that this bet is the one that I will be getting on for sure. So yeah, let's have a look what we got here. Can make it if match starts, we're losing. I agree. Gary, are you from Canning Town? So yeah, and really, that's about it from me. If I agree with what Gary just said there, if Matawaku starts, then I'm sorry, but we're in trouble. We're in trouble. Tomorrow, I want to see Fabianski in goal. I don't think he's done anything wrong. I see a lot of criticism of Fabianski and saying, oh, it's time for Areola. What could he do, really? Like, Yeda for the winner, he can't do it. The penalty, he's gone the right way, he just couldn't get there. And the first goal, you've got to admit, it's a great strike, and it is what it is. So Fabianski in goal. Kufal will probably play because he's the best right back at the club. Hello, Roy. I hope you're well, mate. And I hope you've had a good Christmas also. Obviously, the centre arse will pick itself in Dawson and Diop. I'm gutted about Diop because I've been praising him up, saying, come on, Diop, this is your time to shine. And recently, he's been shaky at best. Yeah, gutted, really. Dawson and Diop, the left-hand side, it's a toss of a coin. Me, personally, Ben Johnson has to play. he played left-sided last year, and all of a sudden now we're putting half Mazawaku in there. And if you notice, every time teams are playing against us, they're going down Mazzy's side because they know he can't defend. And that's exactly what side Watford will go down tomorrow. So Ben Johnson for me all day long. In midfield, yet again, it's a toss of a coin. You can either go Souček and Crowell, Souček and Noble, Souček and Lanzini. Personally, it's got to be Souček and Crowell. It has to be. They've played together at the Czech Republic. I feel that they deserve a chance together to see if they can perform. I think if you go with Lanzini, you're only going to get an hour tops out of him, decent. Why would you go with that when you can go with Crowell and get 80, 85 minutes out of him? Like, do you know what I mean? This kid's got to be keen to play. So I'd go with Crowell. If Noble goes in there, it won't be a big issue, but we all know that Noble can't really get around the pitch. But Noble's proved us wrong a few times this season, and in previous seasons and all, when we thought he hasn't got it. And let's be honest, if Noble does come in, you know he's going to put it all out there. Like he wants us to perform. So, yeah. And in the front four, I think Antonio has to start. He's had a little bit of a break. Scored the other day. He plays, so that's your striker. I think Bowen picks himself. Yeah, because I think he's been West Ham's best player this season with Rice by a country mile. Benny has to play. And then the final player, you've got a toss-up between Manuel Lanzini, Pablo Fornals or Vlasic. Now, for me, who would you go with as your number 10? Like, do you go with Vlasic? Give him a chance. Like, we need him to perform. He played a half the other day. This is a different ball game now at Watford. Or do you go with Pablo Fornals and hope that he gets past his spell? For me, I think you've got to go with Fornals. You know what you're getting with Fornals. Lanzini is very hit and miss, so to speak. He's either very good or he's very bad. And really, we've got to look to go for it with this game. So we need to win the ball back. If Crowell plays with Souček, I would like to see Vlasic in there. And I will give Vlasic benefit of the doubt. Go with Bowen, Vlasic, Ben Rama, Antonio. Right now, that is our starting four. Yeah, and that is our strongest four. And I've seen people saying, well, Vlasic hasn't played with the strongest team, so to speak. Well, that is the strongest lineup possible, right? Pablo Fornals is maybe on the left-hand side. You could argue that. But then if you've got Maz on the left-hand side, you're going to have to cover on the left-hand side. So it probably would be Fornals and Ben Rummer as your 10. But if you want to be more attacking and more, let's not worry about what they do, let's worry about what we do, then that is our starting four. Antonio, Ben Rama, Bowen, Vlasic. And if Vlasic does start tomorrow, I hope he's on it. Because we need him, mate. There's no choice about it. Right? Well, we're running out of time with this geezer. Like, people say, yeah, he's a prospect. You've got to give him time and give him this and give him that. I understand that, but we need him now. And we do. We really, really do need him now. So if Vlasic plays tomorrow, I really hope he can come good. I really do. Last few comments before I wrap it up. Moyes can't pick Mazawaku or play Noble instead of Crowell. Better off with the under-23s. Yep, I agree. Gaz, 33-year-old hammer. Give any of the lads coming through a chance to shine and replace the ones that are not putting their weight. Roll their sleeves up and what can we lose? Honestly, I agree, mate. And the one person that I would bring in, if I had a choice, would be Ashby. I think Ashby's a phenomenally good player. I've seen him live. I've seen him over local, what is it they call that? The under-23 ground where they play in Dagenham. I've seen him up close and personal. And he's frighteningly good. And what I like about him, especially against Højbjerg the other day, he won never no shit. And I like that in a player. And I know full well that boy runs. And if you watch Ashby's games against Tottenham, against Arsenal when he come on, he's always forward thinking. He's always direct. He's always wants to get forward, get a cross in. I love that in a right back. That's how a right back should be. Like, I'm not knocking Maz, yeah, because I've knocked him enough. But watch him tomorrow. If he plays, he will run forward, he will check his run, and he will pass it the ball sideways or back. And that is from me. I've watched a lot of this kid over the years. I've sort of, as I've been doing the YouTube game, I've started to pick up on little things and I started to watch it because I don't want to mug myself off as I'm doing this. So when you watch him tomorrow, that's what he will do, right? And we will see. But Ashby is the man for me, mate. I think he's an unbelievably talented kid. He agrees with Joe. I agree. Ashby is oven ready. He's played in the league football. He's strong, and I agree on that. And that is it from me. If you're new around here and you like my content, please do subscribe to my channel. If you don't like my content, no worries at all. All the bets are in the video. Just flick through, you will see the bets come up. I will quickly run through them now before I go. It is this, obviously. West Ham are 23-20 to win the game, 5-2 to draw. Watford are 9-4. West Ham are just too short for me. They really are. Especially the form we're in. Watford have had the rest. I think the draw. If I'm using my head, I would back the draw. My heart wants us to win, but my head's saying draw. But we will see. First goal scorers. I do like the Dawson one. I think he's capable of scoring against his old club. And how many times do we see this? Scores against their former club. So Dawson 20-1. Dawson anytime 7-1. And obviously Bowen Benrahma 17-2 to score first, or 16-5 to score any time. Hopefully all three of them score and we win comfortably. This is another one. I do like this bet. I think Bowen has shots. He's deadly. He can be pushed into a forward position. Watford's defence isn't great. So I think 2 shots on target, 11-4 is pretty good value. And I do like that. And that would be a strong punt from me. Final bet before I get to my gold bet is over 2.5 goals at 4-5. I think there's goals in this game. I think Watford are quite a good attacking side. They can't defend. We can't defend. We're a good attacking side. If this game ends up 0-0, then I'm sorry. I'm giving up with football. I really am. And finally, this bet, 4 corners per team, 1 booking per team, 6-4. I like this punt. I really do. They've got players in that team like Sissoko can get booked. Danny Rose, if he's playing, can get booked. We've got Kafal, Dawson, who can get booked. Who else we're going to have? Mazawaku, he can get booked. So it's all about the corners for me. We love a corner, and Watford like to go down the sides and play that sort of spraying them balls in low and hard. And I think there could be corners tomorrow. So 6-4, I think it's pretty decent value. It really is. Final comments before I go. Totally agree. If that's me at work, not putting a shift in, then I will be down the road. I agree, mate. I really do. My final thought is this on the preview. To anyone who's just tuning in now, we have to perform tomorrow. There's no 2 ways about it. We have to turn up at Watford and impose ourselves. We're in a bad place at present. We haven't won a game since the Chelsea game, I believe, at the start of December, and that was lucky at best. Like Mazawaku scores a free goal, we win the game. We've played pretty poorly in games since then. Burnley played poorly. Arsenal, we got absolutely rinsed. Tottenham, I think it was what it was. I wasn't really disappointed to a point because when you've got no centre halves, we've got problems. And we're relying on Dawson and Diop, which we all know. I thought they could do the job, but they're just not good enough at present. And then you've got Arthur Mezawaku to chuck into it, and then we've even got more problems. And then the Southampton game where we're lacklustre. We should be coming out all guns blazing after the Arsenal loss in the league, and we have a week off, and we just didn't do nothing again. And it was absolutely dreadful on that. But we've got to move on past that now. We've got Southampton. No, we've got Watford tomorrow. We've just played Southampton, sadly, but we've got Watford tomorrow, and we have got to go there. And this is a team that, I'm sorry, but we struggle up at Watford sometimes. We're either very good at Watford and we'll win there 3-1 or something tomorrow, or we'll get blitzed 3-1. Now, me personally, David Moyes has got to not play Masuaku. He's got to go with either Krell in the midfield, right? If he goes with Noble, I can understand it, but I won't like it. But I can understand it. And we've got to be forward thinking. I think we've got to face the fact that tomorrow we're going to concede. We just got to outscore them. And Jazz have put up a great comment before he left. And he turned around and he said that we need to outscore these teams now because we can't defend. And I'll make him 100% bang on the money there. If we turn up against Watford, we've just got to go for it. Treat it like a cup final and just try and win this game, right? Because in 3 days' time, 3 or 4 days' time, we've got Crystal Palace, which, let's be honest, at Palace is another place we don't really perform well. So we need to get something out of this game. Would I be disappointed with a draw? With no Rice in the team, I think we will take it right now with the way we're playing. But just don't lose the game, West Ham. I just don't lose the game. And January can't come quick enough. It really can't. But anyway, that's enough from me. I was only going to do a short video, but I've seen quite a lot of people in, new people. As I say, if you're new around here and you agree with me or disagree with me, subscribe to my channel. And yeah, we will have good discussions about players and whatnot about West Ham. Anyway, that's enough from me. Take care of yourselves, and let's hope for a positive result tomorrow. I've got no idea how it's going to go. It's either we play mustard and win, or we get blitzed. So everyone likes us being mustard. So yeah. Anyway, take care. Bye for now. All the best, and come on, your arms.